Joao Gomes has emerged as one of the potential midfield candidates for Manchester United to bring in. Let's have a conversation about him. We'll go through the news and his likelihood of joining Manchester United, his attributes, and much more. So what has been reported is Manchester United could potentially move to Wolverhampton midfielder Joao Gomes, with obviously Wolves getting relegated. That could significantly lower his price. Manchester United are exploring the move, as he's admired for his energy, ball winning ability, and composure in midfield. Now, what I would say about Joao Gomes, he's obviously a good midfielder. He's someone who will come under that cheaper bracket, not in your A grade sort of midfielders, but still a very, very good option. Now, he's 25 years of age. He obviously plays for Wolves, who are likely to get relegated this season, and he has been linked with a move to Manchester United. And this is something that has not come recently. The links have been there for a while. If you go back all the way to January, all the way to now, so it's definitely something that United have interest in, and it's come from a variety of sources. Now, as I said, he's 25. He's someone who plays in the midfield too with Andre. I think if you were to bring him in, he would be a more Ugarte replacement, which I do think he is a better player than Ugarte, but just something that we have to ultimately look at. I think if we do get Joao Gomes, I'd be very, very happy with him. Again, he's not the only midfielder Manchester United should get, whether that is Anderson, Wharton, Belabor, Sandro Tonali, Guimaraes. We need to get one of those as well. But again, there's a lot to admire about Joao Gomes. His ball winning ability is fantastic. His composure on the ball. He's a very, very good ball winner. Like, his stats don't lie. If you look at some of his stats in winning the ball, is very, very good. He can score the odd goal about him as well, but he is more of a protector. He's not someone who's going to control the game as such, but he definitely is a number 6. He's not a box to box, and I think his profile would work very, very well with Kobbie Mainoo actually. I think he is kind of very similar to Casemiro, just a few years younger. I'm not saying he's as good as Casemiro, but the profiles do align. He's someone who can break up the play, got a good pass on him. Obviously not as good aerially. I don't think there's many people in world football in that CDM position that are as good as Casemiro. But again, he does have a few years left on his deal. He signed a new contract last summer, keeping him at the club until 2030. But I do think with Wolves being relegated, he will definitely be someone that we do look at signing, because he is that good of a player. So yeah, we will have to wait and see what does happen with Joao Gomes. I really do like him. I think he's someone who's got a very good profile. He's got a lot of ability. His versatility is key as well. Yes, he is predominantly number 6, but can play in the number 8 as well. And I think United have to be very smart with the recruitment strategy this summer. We have to look at sort of not spending 300 million, because we don't have that. Looking at bringing in other midfield options that are going to do the job, that are an improvement on Ugarte and Casemiro leaving, but particularly Ugarte replacement, and he would be a perfect player. He's someone who's better than Ugarte. Premier League experience again is a big positive. We've seen what United did first time with Ugarte. We thought we'd go out, get a top level midfielder from Europe, and it just ultimately didn't transcend from the French league into the Premier League. And Ugarte is just not the level of player that we thought he'd be. I think bringing in Joao Gomes, you do get that sort of guarantee that he's Premier League proven. Yes, he's obviously going to need time to settle, but if you look at the perfect example of Cunha, who we bought in from Wolves, he did have a bit of a settling period, but now he looks absolutely fantastic, and he looks like a mainstay in this team. So yeah, Joao Gomes has definitely emerged as an option. Is the ideal candidate? No, but he's definitely someone who Manchester United have talks in. Again, in terms of other midfielders on that similar profile, you have Tyler Adams, Ethan Ampadu. If you're talking abroad, you've got Stuttgart, Angelo Stiller. You got Ederson from Atalanta. So Joao Gomes is not the only one, but if you look at the positive, Premier League experience suits the profile for what Manchester United need. I think if we're looking at some of the midfielders that we link to, they might not be ideally the best profile for Manchester United, so that's something that you have to talk about. Suitability to the Premier League, as I said, he's played in the Premier League now for 3 or 4 seasons. You would be able to get him on a cheap price, with obviously Wolves getting relegated. There obviously are some negatives. Is he good enough to play in Europe, whether that is Champions League or sort of the conference, not the Champions League or the Europa League? I do certainly think he has that, and at 25 there are still areas in his game we need to improve. He has come across a bit erratic at times, but again, his ball winning ability is good. He's someone who playing for Wolves, you have to be good on the ball and you have to be able to fight, so he definitely has that. But let me know your thoughts. I think he is definitely the midfield option. I think United have had links to him for a while, and there is genuine interest there, so we will have to wait and see what happens. But Joao Gomes has been linked as a midfield option. Would you take him?